Good morning, good afternoon, everybody out in YouTube land. Man, it is a Sunday. It's a beautiful day. It's actually a little warm out. It's in the 90s here. And some of you eagle-eyed people may recognize this field right here, although it has changed quite a bit. This has been my, for the last 4 or 5 years, this has been my go-to place to go when I don't feel like traveling for a great distance in order, shoot a video and so forth. But boy, things have changed here. All this construction equipment. They have a new building going down over there. There's stuff happening right over here. There used to be a beautiful tree here. It is all, probably in a couple of years, this is going to be all buildings or storage or who knows what they're going to be putting here. Anyway, today I'm not here to talk about this field and what's happening here in Irvine. Today I am going to be talking about the Bereg UP-7 tent video. A couple of weeks ago or a few weeks ago, I released a UP-7 video on the Bereg tent there. And also in that video, I set it up with a vestibule. Now, full disclosure, in that video, I said I had never set up one with a vestibule before. And it turns out I set it up wrong. And well, I'm going to make right with this video here. So I'm having a little fun with this. I set it up incorrectly. It turns out the main arch on the outside that holds up the frame of the vestibule, I set it up inside out. So that gave it that kind of rugged look. I mean, it worked kind of half-assed, but we don't do things half-assed here. So I'm going to do it right this time, and I'm itching to see what that looks like. So then we're going to be doing that. Also, in that video, I spoke about, in a subsequent video, I would be showing off the heavy-duty PVC floor that you can get as an option for these Bereg tents. And today, might as well two birds, one stone. So that's going to be the second item that we're going to do in this video. We're going to unzip the standard floor that's inside of it, and we're going to zip in the heavy-duty PVC floor that that you can get with that, or I'm sorry, be able to get with that tent as well. And that's a rental right there. I don't have the new truck yet. The Tesla got whacked by an Amazon truck about 2 weeks ago, so that delayed getting the new truck a little bit further. So Mazda is what they gave me. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the fun stuff and let's crank up this this tent and see what all of this looks like. Boom! You gotta love how fast these things go up. Oh my goodness. I love my inflatable tents, but man, these Bereg tents. Now again, you want to make sure you're buying a authentic Bereg tent. There are knockoffs out there, but these things are, man, they're so easy to put up. Okay, now the fun part with this is, this being our second time putting this together, I'm not going to fuss with the door this time because we're not here. We know how the door works. We want to see the vestibule properly set up correctly. So, plus it's hot, and I'm going to be jumping inside this thing in a minute to set up the floor, and so I don't care whether the door is on. All right, so last time we find the end. And man, you gotta love how fast this thing goes up. Okay. Hopefully the wind is not going to be a pain in the butt. I didn't bring any hammer. I didn't bring anything to tie this thing down. And so hopefully the wind's not going to be a pain in the butt here for us. Okay, so this is the rod that I was referring to last time. Oops, there's the inside one. Let me put that over there. So last time, if you remember, I tried doing it like this, and it created like the square little shape. So it turns out it goes like this. So it creates this like springy. And I thought, I mean, look, this thing's like going way the heck out there. So it turns out that is the correct way. Or I'm sorry, that is the correct way. Geez, if I can speak right. Okay, so now let's jam this thing in here. Okay, so zip, zip, zip. Oh, this could be so crazy. I thought for sure there's no way this thing would zip up or you'd be able to get it closed up with that arch on there, but oh, look at that. This is wild. Okay, so the end here we got to jam in there before we get too far along here. Oh, that closes, that goes. You know what? That's funny. Again, I thought there'd be no way that would be how far it extended out. I thought for sure there was no way that was going to close up. That closes up really nice. Okay, now we have our little extension rods here that we're going to connect. And then we're going to put these on the inside, and that's going to push this outer vestibule wall away from the main structure and give it its form. Boom. There we go. Awesome. Oh, this is so crazy. This is what a huge difference. Huge difference. Okay. Oh, look at that. Wow, 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 wow. That is absolutely nuts. That is... Let's tap this thing over. Look at that. Okay, so now... Look at that. Okay, so this would come out. Okay, which it does. You know what? And it has so much more structure to it, and it's much more... It's wider. It is simply a lot bigger. So now let's roll this up so we can keep that airflow going inside. And of course, you have the authentic Bereg logo right on the outside of the vestibule as well. Okay, one thing I do want to point out here is along the bottom here, you do have this strap that is actually on that side, and you just connect it over here. You can adjust it to what you need. And as you can see, now, assuming you have all the guidelines in here, which I don't have any in here, that is going to keep that base exactly where you want it. Okay, let's just admire how this looks compared to the original time. You can see there's a lot more form, more of a circular dome form to it. There's more tautness coming through this. And again, there's no guidelines on here, and the wind keeps mucking with me here. But anyways, so this is pretty darn slick. There's a lot more usable space in here. Look at that, that's so cool. Let's step back here. We're jumping inside of the tent. That is so darn cool. Because last time it seemed that it was pegged, in order to keep that up, I was about a good 1.5 feet in on each side, so you didn't have nowhere near the usable space that we can see right here. That is so darn cool. I absolutely love that. And again, I have to keep repeating, the wind is being a pain in the butt. So you would put a spike into the ground right here and over on the other side there, and that's going to give it just a little bit more. So I would peg it right here, and you can see what that does just alone to the tautness right there. It doesn't take much for this to hold its form. That is so stinking cool. I am floored. When I learned that I had set it up incorrectly, and I saw the video, one of you guys sent me a video on that, which, by the way, thank you very much. I was blown away. Obviously, this is pretty cool. I mean, that is just a much more larger workable space than when I had set it up. All right, let's jump inside and let's play around with this floor. So you can see here is the zipper that goes around the bottom parameter of the tent. In a moment, hopefully, as I'm playing show and tell here, we're going to find where this thing starts, which I just did. Boom. All right, so we're going to go here. All right, we're going to unzip the floor, which is, again, one of the things I'm hoping I can do this with one hand as I'm holding the camera here. One of the things I love about these Bereg tents is they don't skimp on the hardware, including these big beefy zippers. If this was a chintzy zipper, there is no way I'd be able to do this with one hand. It's still a little challenging as it is, but that's mainly because I technically need two hands for this here, but this big zipper makes an easy job of it. Okay. There we go. So now, and this is kind of cool to play show and tell as well. Those of you that would be using this for ice fishing, man, you can unzip the floor. You can have access to that sheet of ice and drill as many holes as you want. And I've never ice fished before, but I'm imagining how I would go. I would love to go ice fishing. Any of you want to do an ice fishing trip, message me. I'd love to go. Alrighty. That is pretty cool. So now we can carry this floor out of here. We're going to go get our heavy floor to put that in there. Okay, so now we have the heavy-duty PVC floor in here all zipped up. You can see it's quite a different print. And again, this is considerably much heavier than the standard floor that's in here. So this is pretty cool, and they give you, I'm happy to see, again, the tent's not staked down, so I could probably pull out some of the slack in here, but you can see it actually goes up a bit as well. So that's going to keep everything inside of here nice and dry. That's pretty cool. This looks fantastic. And I can tell you, walking on it, underneath this, I have nothing underneath it, which is what I usually have a mat underneath all my tents. So today I didn't bring it out. But I can feel the rocks, but it's soft. This thing is really doing its job, and it looks really, really fantastic. So, as you can see there, it zips up in place of the stock. Now, I'm guessing with this being heavier, I'm going to unzip this before I put this tent away, and then I can just choose which floor I want in there when I get out. But all right, so what do you think? PVC floor or the stock floor or the standard floor? This one I'm digging because, of course, you can. Let me get outside here. Oh, So the PVC one is fantastic because it's waterproof, it's durable. And it also, like if you're around there, I was wearing shoes in there, but if you're in there with the bare feet and so forth, and if you don't have a mat underneath there, that's going to be much more forgiving than having the standard floor in there and not having any floor underneath that. All right, friends, so that's going to be it for this video. Here's a promise, just a short little, hey, let's see what the vestibule looks like when it's put up correctly, and let's put the PVC floor in and see what that looks like. And as you can see there, that went in there crazy easy. Now, with that said, if you have additional questions on the Bereg UP-7 tent, let me know in the comments or message me. And also, if you're interested in picking up one of these, I'll put a link down below to Bereg Canada, where you can pick up a authentic Bereg tent. Now again, I'm going to repeat this over and over again. You're going to know you have an authentic Bereg tent when you see that logo right there. So I thought it was a salmon. It turns out it's a grayling. Okay, anyways, so make sure that logo is on the tent that you're going to pick up. And friends, I will see you in the next video.